Welcome back to Train Supply Manager tutorial number 4. This time we're looking at the empty train concept. What is the empty train concept, you might ask yourself? The empty train concept is a way of sending a train via TSM to, for example, an ore outpost based on whether or not that ore outpost actually has the supply necessary to fill the train, rather than as we currently have on our friend down here. If you remember from the very first episode, we set this up with an actual hard-coded go always to this outpost to fill it up. What we can do with the empty trains is have an empty train that goes to any outpost when it's ready with ore available, and then proceeds on with more than one supply condition in its stock. So what we do, we'll clear out that schedule, we'll come down here to where we have another depot. We will set up supply stations. It starts with supply stations. Let's call them something meaningful to us. These are empty, and then maybe let's use this item diction. Whoops, let's not have caps in there. This is empty, and then item equals iron ore. If you have caps in there, the item part doesn't work. And let's just run along here with that, so they're all called the same thing. Now, in our train, what we want to do is we want to start off, go to an empty supply station, normal TSM circuit condition, wait for blank circuit condition, TSM will supply everything else. Then you add another supply station. You can have as many supply stations as you want, but for this we only need 2. The other one was iron ore supply. Once you have gone and picked up ore, go to iron ore supply, wait for circuit condition blank. It's as simple as that. Go to the empty. Now, actually what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to throw in a second train, because why not? You have no fuel because I've given it all away. Let me just grab a little bit of, actually let me grab some fuel out of here. You can just go to the fuel stop and fill up on your own accord. You now have fuel, so you're happy and you have the same conditions. Let's run over to our iron ore stop. So this used to have a normal stop. What you need to do to make it work for empty trains is change that to a requester stop. There is automatic fast replace amongst stations, so you can fast replace back, but we need the requester. So let's keep the requester. Let's use a requester lamp. Let's put in a decider combinator, because we want to trigger this based on when there's enough ore here for a train to come in and completely load. That's our condition. So we have one ore train and standard vanilla trains. They have about 2,000 iron ore, so our condition is iron ore is greater than or equal to, doesn't really matter that much. They're fairly similar. There's 2,000. When it hits 2,000, set a virtual signal. We'll use P, because we like P for these sorts of things. In here, same thing as always, trains on the way is less than our signal. Then you get enabled, and then, whoops, then we have a priority. We don't currently have the priority, so let's set up what we need. We need a new priority, so you just click in here. This time it's an empty train. It's not iron ore resource, it's an empty train designed for iron ore. Under here, the TSM signals, you get a bunch of standard vanilla cargo wagons for the ores and the liquids. There is an addition coming that will greatly expand this to make the empty trains easier to use, should you want to do so. I do most of my train setups this way, probably 90% of them. The manner showed in the very first episode I do sometimes use, but this is my preferred way because of the greater level of flexibility with it. So let's do empty train, empty iron ore train, empty iron ore train as our supply source priority. Select the stop. This is coming from the empty iron ore supply station. Let's save this, but we're not quite done yet. We need to go back in so that we can get to the wait conditions. I discussed inactivity, when it's best to use, when it's not best to use. I'm going to turn it off for this situation, and we want to include when the train is full. There should be enough ore here. It's been balanced, so all of these should load up evenly. Let's wait until the train is full, then it can go. We don't need to hit update, it's already updated. We can just exit. And that's our supply source priority. Now we can put this into the train requester. We want the empty cargo wagon, and it's jumped over here because, well, that's what they do. And empty cargo wagon iron ore. You can see it's now set to pick up from source empty, and it's already delivered. The other thing that I normally do when I'm setting up priorities for empty trains is I tick the hide. Mainly because when I'm looking at my unsatisfied requests, I don't really care that I have trains that are available. I don't really care that there's ore available. What I'm more concerned about is when ore is not available. So hiding these trains is a good move. When we come out here, we can always put show all in, because this is ready again, if we want to see the iron ore train. But otherwise, that is fine. We can hide that now, we can hide that one now, and we can exit out of our requester. Just to show the whole thing in operation, what I'm going to do is set up a second iron ore supply station, because there's one or two last things that I wanted to mention, but we're almost done. It's actually surprisingly easy to do this. Let's whack down our basic setup. You have wiring to this substation, so let's just wire from there to there, from the front to the train counter to the requester. Now, instead of redoing all of these conditions, you can just do shift right click to pick up that one, and just jump out of map mode, and then shift left click to copy that condition there. Well, the good news is you can also come over here and shift right click on the requester and shift left click, and that's copied everything over, including all the information in here. You can see it's picked up our hide, it's picked up the priority schema, and if we'd changed the process priority, it would have picked up that as well. Now, I do want to mention the process priority, because this is a way where the requesters can deem one requester is more important than another, and it should go to that requester first over the other one. So let's just do that, just so you can see that in operation. Whoops. That's right. You'll have to cover up all of that if you want to make it 40, because it won't let this be an empty number. It has to have a value. So let's make it, say, 40. That is less than the other one. So what's going to happen now is when there is a free train, it's going to go to the top one when that one has a need over and above the bottom one. You're still sitting on manual. Let's make you automatic. I guarantee it's going to go to Urus, that whatever that is, as soon as we make this automatic. And there you go. Because this one up here is also available. You can see that because it's an active thing, but the priority was over here, so it went to this one first. This one now, because that one is being served, it's no longer in the priority queue, so it gets served. That's how your process priorities work in Quick. That's how you can do empty trains. That's the way I do mine. It means that when you set up a new outpost, you don't have to refer to the name of the outpost. You don't have to change train schedules. You simply put down your requester, copy over the details from another one, and you're good to go. Again, very simple, very easy to use, and it looks like we're overloaded with ore here, which is why this train is actually waiting this time rather than coming through. But we're done and dusted. That's how you do empty trains. Thanks for watching. More coming. Bye-bye for now.